Sup guys, coming in today with a video about towing. I tow our camper. I have a 2010 Chevy 2500 Z71. It is a 6-liter gas motor, obviously. It's a crew cab, limited slip differentials. I believe it's a 6L90 transmission. I think it's right around 360 horsepower. My numbers are probably off, and you guys that watch this can probably correct me. I think it's like 380 foot-pounds of torque. What I have behind me is a 36-foot, 6-inch camper. It weighs 8,500 pounds, 8,500 and change dry. I've got it loaded up. I got, you know, with all of our stuff, food, clothes, kids' toys that they wanted to bring. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 bicycles on the bumper. I got 2 propane tanks on the front of the camper. To be honest, I don't have any clue what the camper weighs with it loaded up. I would guess I have maybe 300 to 400 pounds of cargo. Could be more, could be a little less. You know, if I was conservative, probably say, you know, I'm somewhere between the 8,700 to 9,000 pound range with the camper. Right now I'm on the Interstate 89 in Vermont. The roads are far from flat. They're up and down, up and down, up and down. Right now, so I'm on my way home. On the way to the campground, I towed 106 miles. I used a half a tank of gas to get us there. My assumption would be I'm probably averaging somewhere between 7 and 8 miles a gallon with it on these roads. You're thinking, yeah, that's terrible. Yep, it kind of is, but the camper's super heavy. I don't travel very fast with it. I don't run a weight distribution hitch or any kind of anti-sway. I'm straight right on the bumper pole. The tongue weight is, with just a camper, dry weight's just over 900 pounds. It's like 906. I have no idea how much tongue weight I have on there with the cargo. I was going to run a weight distribution equalizer system this year. I decided not to. I saw some horror stories on the tongues and bending the tongues, and I think that's probably if you abuse them and don't use them correctly. Just made me nervous. I towed the first full year without one. I'm into my second year with this camper. I'm not new to towing, by the way. This is my second year. My whole first year I ran without a weight distribution, and I went all the way to Maine with this truck. It was a 5-hour ride. I put on a ton of miles. Right now I'm pulling a pretty good hill. I'll show you guys what it looks like. It seems to get pretty happy. You can hear the motor singing pretty good here. Right around 3,800 RPMs, about 62 miles an hour. This thing pulls pretty good up hills. I don't like to go any faster than that, and I don't like to rev the engine any higher than that. It's my personal preference. I'm an auto mechanic. It really has nothing to do with that. But I like to stay a little bit conservative with the motor, and I like to keep my RPMs down. To me, personally, it makes me feel like I'm, you know, causing less wear and tear on the motor, not singing this thing at 5,000 RPMs. It'll go to 5,000, there's no doubt. This is a pretty good grade right here. I know videos do not do it justice, but this is a pretty good hill right here. That's why the motor's singing. So I'm at about 6,500 RPMs right now. As you guys can see, about 65 miles per hour. And I'm decreasing a little bit. I can get right into throttle and rev her right up. I just don't want to. I'm holding this hill 3,800, about 62, 63 miles an hour. You guys can see that for yourselves. I just passed a sign saying entering town of Bethel. Again, I have no idea what the grade is. I didn't see any signs, but this was a decent hill. Vermont roads are far from flat and far from gentle as far as fuel economy goes. But I get the job done with this camper. I don't know if I want to tow any more than what I'm currently towing. I feel like 10,000 pounds would probably be a struggle for this truck. This truck's older. It's got 141,000 miles on it. I really don't want to push the envelope. If I go any heavier for a camper, which, you know, we may or may not do in the future, I'll be getting a different truck, and maybe it'll be a fifth wheel. Right now in the truck, I generally have 6 people in the truck. This time we took 2 vehicles because my daughter had a friend. So generally when I'm towing, I have 6 people and 2 labs in the bed of the truck. So yeah, you're probably wondering payload, and if I'm exceeding that. I'm pretty sure the payload on these is pretty high. It's right around 3,000 RPMs. RPMs, God, I'm trying to drive and talk at the same time. 3,200 pounds, I think it is. Again, you guys can look up the specs and let me know if I'm close. I'm getting into it here again, pulling this hill. Again, the only modification this truck has, I kind of wanted to try a tuner, but I really don't think with a gas job it makes much of a difference. The only thing I'd like to play with is the shift points of the transmission. I probably won't do that because I really don't want to blow a tranny in this truck. So the only modification this truck has is I have rough country airbags. Usually at the shop I work at, we put in Firestone airbags in the rear suspension. I went with rough country because they were priced a little bit more fair, and you know, I'm a little bit on a budget with a family of 6 on 1 income. The airbags have been phenomenal. I'm in the 2nd year of running these airbags. I run them at about 35 PSI, and it squats a truck maybe a ½ an inch with those airbags. Those airbags are capable of going up to 100 PSI. I don't think that's necessary. All I want to do is keep it from squatting, and I want to keep the trailer angle correct, and around 35 PSI the trailer's pretty level, and that's where I want it. That's where I feel like it tows well. I don't have it angled towards the tongue. Some guys will angle it just a little bit, keep the tongue weight on. I feel like I have plenty of tongue weight. I just don't do that. So airbags, no cold air intake, no nothing. You know, I've just done the maintenance I thought it needed. That's it. So yeah, guys, it can be done. It is thirsty. You know, you got to weigh your options. You know, if you want to buy a diesel, first of all, diesels are super expensive to fix. And I don't care if you're biased to diesel or gas. I don't care. From a repair perspective as a mechanic, when diesels break, they're super expensive. Gasoline engines, they're a little bit more affordable. Yeah, you use more fuel, gasoline, but you're also paying a little bit more for diesel at the pump. I think right now we're 30 or 40 cents cheaper than diesel. And unless your diesel's tuned and deleted, you're not really pulling great gas mileage anyways, or fuel mileage anyways. You're probably 13 to 15. And again, whoever's watching this video, they may be like, well, I get 18 or 20, whatever. You guys have your own experiences. I have towed with a diesel. I've never owned one. I've actually traveled quite a distance towing with a diesel. The power is phenomenal, but you're still going right through the fuel. So yeah, it's doable, guys, and it's all in your personal preference. I'm definitely going to use a full tank here. I'm probably going to be like 200, just over 200 miles round trip on this truck. The tank's about 26 gallon. Maybe I'll shoot a video. I'll fill this truck up when I get back, and I'll shoot a video on what I use. Just let the truck talk to you a little bit, and don't make it do something it doesn't want to do, and you'll succeed in your mission and on your trips. Don't go crazy. Don't be abusive to the truck. It's working hard. I always monitor transmission temp as well. I have that pulled up on the screen right now. I'm at 198 degrees. Last summer was pretty hot, pretty humid. I think the transmission, the hottest ever reached was right around 210 degrees. And the coolant was pretty hot. Obviously, you know, it's got an auxiliary trans cooler along with the radiator. So I think the transmission fluid was heating up the coolant in a combination. The truck probably ran at 220, but that was for a very short time. It cooled right off. If you're ever in a situation where your gas truck, you know, it's getting hot, and you want to pull over, let it cool off, don't shut it off. Let it idle, guys. It needs that fan. it'll cool off faster, letting the fan come on and let it run, let it idle. It'll come out of it, but you can already see I'm already at 194. It's cooling off. I doubt I'll make it any higher than 201, 202 degrees on this trip. To me, that's okay. But that's another thing I pay attention to. I don't want to get too hot. Just let the truck talk to you. Keep an eye on what it's doing. And be nice to it, guys. Alright, guys. I was hoping to make it home on this tank of gas. I'm about probably 15 miles away. I'm never going to make it. Buried the needle at E. 196.8 miles. I wanted to fill up closer to home because it's 379. It's 389 here, but we're going to go ahead and fill up. This intersection is going to suck the pull out of, but whatever. All right, let me get this going. All right, guys, check this out. Just about ready to click off, I would assume. Somewhere around the 25-gallon mark. Oh, she was empty. It's only a 26-gallon tank, fellas. I would say I was just about ready to break down. All right. So when I filled this up before I took off, I gave it a few seconds here, and then I hit the pump again to make sure it was topped up. One important note is I'll say I'm running 87 octane. All right, let's give this handle another squeeze. And it shut off. So 101, 25.9 gallons of gas. I'm sure you guys already did the math, but give me a second here. Do it on my phone. Let's see what we ended up with. Again, this was all interstate driving. Somewhere between the range. I'm usually between 60 and 65, but there is times where I'm like 66, 67. So I would say in the range of 60 to 70 miles an hour. 196.8 divided by, what did I say? 25.9. So that's 7.5 miles a gallon. 7.6 if you round it up. That's not good. But there you have it. All right, this is gonna be tricky to pull out of here, so I'm gonna shut the camera off, guys.